Hi, Roxie. I'm Marie from Estonia. I hope you are doing fine today.
Oh,
Uh,
thank you.
I am so excited about this interview. And before we start, I wanted to let you know a little bit about myself. I'm a professional organizer, and my job is to teach people how to organize their lives, how to be more productive so they can get everything done in their lives. And manifesting is a big part of that. I love manifesting because it really works. And I'm also a big fan of your book and also a big fan of you. And today I am asking you some questions that my followers wanted to ask you, if that's okay with you.
Of course. Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, that's great that you are here and you can share everything about yourself and manifesting with us. So the first question would be, you're a queen of manifesting. So could you tell us a little bit about yourself? How did you find manifesting and how has it changed your life?
Yeah, so actually, I really never knew what it was like to be happy. I didn't grow up sort of happy or learning how to be happy. And I always had a lot of self-loathing, low self-worth. I really struggled with being myself because I always felt like I was an outsider, that I never fit in. I didn't have many friends. I got really badly bullied. And then when I reached my 20s, I turned to drugs and alcohol and cigarettes, and I got caught in addiction. And that was really my way of escaping from pain. And, you know, as a lot of people do, they find ways to cope with the pain that they're in. And I hit many rock bottoms throughout my 20s. And after one of them in 2018, May 2018, was kind of at another one of my, real low points. And I said to my friend, what should I do? And she said, oh, I just listened to this podcast on manifesting. You should listen. And so I thought, well, I'll try anything at this point. So I listened to this podcast and I realized that manifesting was all about your self-worth, and I had no self-worth. So I went home and I started researching, what is manifestation, really trying to understand the practice. And 2 weeks later, Wade messaged me on a dating app on the 7th of June, 2018. And on the 7th of June, 2019, a year to the day, our baby boy was born. And since then, really, my life has become unrecognizable to what it was. Especially, my career I had no career at all, no idea, no prospects, nothing. I wasn't making any money at all. So in terms of my career growth, it's been incredible, but mostly and more importantly, my personal growth. I actually do love who I am now. I feel confident in myself, and I've completely changed my whole mindset and approach to life. So manifesting is a practice that I live and breathe, and I'm extremely passionate about.
That is so amazing that your life changed like 100 degrees.
Yeah.
So you are happy and everything is good in your life. But how do you manifest correctly? Can you manifest negatively?
I think that when I look back at my life, I think that I was probably manifesting in the wrong direction a lot of the time. Because I was so full of, we manifest what we believe. And I believed that I was worthless. And I believed that life was hard and that it would always be hard and that good things wouldn't happen to me. And so I think on some levels, I did keep attracting that into my life. But once I started to change my belief system, I changed what I attracted. And we can all change our belief systems because we have neuroplasticity. We have the ability to change our neural pathways through repeated thought and action. So I think that we have to be conscious of the way that we think, the things that we do, the way that we behave, the way we show up, how we speak to ourselves, how we treat ourselves, because it does impact what we manifest. But I think that we don't need, there's another side, an extreme side where people go, oh my God, I had a thought that something bad would happen, does that mean it's going to happen? And the answer is no, it's not that fleeting, because we're not manifesting just from our thoughts alone, we're manifesting from our belief system. So we have to be careful not to over worry about little thoughts coming and going. We're all going to have those, you know, worrying thoughts or those intrusive thoughts, but what matters is what we really truly believe about ourselves.
Okay, thank you. But why manifestation doesn't always work? Has it worked for you all the time?
Yes, it works for me all the time. It always works. When I follow my 7 steps, it always works. And I am not the only one. You know, hundreds of thousands of people have followed these 7 steps now, and it's worked for them too. And I think that the problem is a lot of people don't really understand manifesting. They think that it's maybe just about thinking about what you want, or, you know, making a vision board, or that you have to just meditate every night and visualize it. But it's not that. Manifesting is a full practice that you live and breathe. And I think that in my 7 steps, I really make this so clear, that it impacts every area of your life and everything that you do. And when you do follow it, I truly believe that it always works.
And as you said all of that, do you manifest like do it every day? Or do you like have a vision board? How often do you change your vision board?
So when you understand the 7 steps of manifesting, it's not something you do day to day, it's a way of living. So I do have rituals that support my journey. So I always fall asleep to a manifesting meditation. I do a vision board once a year. Sometimes I do one halfway through the year if I want to set new goals. I use the affirmations a lot. I do a gratitude practice every day. So these are things that are rituals that I do to support my manifesting journey. But to manifest, it's not something you do, it's a way of living. So especially if you look at Steps 3, align your behavior, and Step 4, overcome tests from the universe. This is really about how you behave every day, how you deal with challenges, how you step outside your comfort zone, how you cope with stress or rejection. And that is something that you have to do every day.
Yeah, I believe that it's like way of living, as you said. What questions do I have for you? But can you tell us what are the main things you do in the mornings and at nights? What are your routines, like manifesting routines?
Yeah, so kind of just what I mentioned there is that I always fall asleep to a manifesting meditation. I really like to visualize before I fall asleep, because my subconscious is very susceptible then to this kind of imagery. And I also do a positivity journal every night. And I explain this one in the book. It's where every night before bed, you write down every single good thing that happened in the day. And this practice is really trying to help you retrain your brain to focus on the good in your life. And it helps you to adopt this attitude of gratitude, which puts you at a very high vibrational frequency. So I do that every night. And in the morning, for me, I repeat an affirmation when I woke up. So sometimes I'll just say, I'm so excited for the day ahead of me, or I can handle anything that comes my way, or I love the person that I am. And I say that 5 times. And then, you know, I usually am with my son, you know, trying to get him ready for school. And then once he's at school, you know, I do 10 to 15 minutes of movement. At the moment, it's just stretching. I'm not feeling, you know, for me at the moment, intense exercise is what my body needs. So I'm just doing a 10 to 15 minute stretch every morning, having my breakfast, having a cup of coffee. And that's it. There's nothing kind of, that for me is self-love. Okay. Just having a nice slow morning before I have a very crazy day at work, you know, and that is part of manifesting as well. It doesn't have to just be meditation and journaling. Actually, any way that you're practicing self-love and you're setting yourself up for the best day ahead is also part of your manifestation practice.
Yeah, I agree. I take my time also in the mornings when I get my kids to school. Then I just take 1 hour for myself.
Yes, I
just
love
eat
that.
And relax and do my stuff before the work starts.
Exactly.
As I told you, a big part of my life is productivity. And I think it's very much connected to manifesting.
Mm-hmm.
So in addition to the book Manifest, you also have various notebooks, and you can plan your finances, wellness, New Year's, weeks, and days. What methods do you use to be productive each day? Can you give us like 1 or 2 tips? What works for you?
Yeah, so I think 2 things. The first thing is really understanding my priorities each day, because I think that our priorities do change and we have to be fluid with them. And for me, in the morning, being able to say, okay, my priority today is that I have to reach this deadline for this project, and I need to send out these 5 emails to these people, and I need to make sure that I'm, looking fresh for this interview or whatever it is. The other stuff has to fall to the side today. So that might mean for me, okay, I do not have time to call my sister, and I like to call her every day, okay? Or I don't have time to see my friend for a coffee in the afternoon, because my priority is that I need to get these things done. On another day, and I think it's just as important actually for productivity, I cannot see when I need to prioritize rest. I know that I actually can't be as productive day to day if I'm not scheduling in rest and saying, okay, on this day, I am actually going to make sure I have no meetings in my diary. I'm going to take a longer morning for myself. I'm going to, when I get home from work, I'm not going to see anyone. I'm not going to speak to anyone. I'm just going to watch TV and have a bath. And that for me is actually a part of enabling me to be as productive as I can be, because I do not have boundless energy. Like at the end of a busy week, I will burn out if I don't allow myself that time to rest. And that's something I've really been learning as I've gone along. And I'm sure you'll probably relate to that. If we don't stop, we just are drained and exhausted.
Yeah, you're right. I'm also a mom and a businesswoman. And the next question, or just a thought that I would like to discuss with you, is that if we have a day full of work things, do you take time off? Do you schedule that on 5 p.m. You don't work anymore? Do you take your weekends off, or how do you plan this your family life, because you have a son? So you have to be a mom also.
Exactly. So what I try to do is, I know that I pick Wolfie up from nursery at 4 p.m. and he goes to bed about 6:30. So 4 till 6:30, I make sure that nothing is in my diary and that I don't check my emails. But I also know that, things are busy. I can't then just switch off until tomorrow. So once he's in bed, I give myself an hour and a half to finish all the work that I need to do, and then I can relax and go to bed. But it means that when I'm with Wolf, in that period of time, I'm present with him. And that for me is really important, because I think before, especially during COVID, I really struggled with that. I would be half with Wolf, but half checking my emails. And that was very stressful. So yeah, I try to definitely have those kind of those times in the day where I'm not working, but then I have to make up for it maybe after he's gone to bed, but that's okay, because I'm focused and then I've done it, and then I feel better because it's, I finished what I need to do. And weekends, I do work on quite a few weekends, but when I'm not working on a weekend, I'm totally not working, and I just try to be really present and just do simple things. I don't go out anymore. I don't drink really. So for those weekends, when I'm with Wolf, it's just about finding joy and peace and contentment in those really simple things, like going for a walk or being with your family or going to the park or whatever it is. And that for me is very healing.
Yeah, that I can relate to that.
Yeah.
I think that being a mom, then you have to be off on the time when you are with your kids, and to me it's no social media, no work, no nothing, just to be present in the moment. Totally. I think that is so important, us to moms and parents. In addition to the book Manifest, there is a new book coming out, Manifest Type Deeper. Is this like a part 2 And what can you tell about this book?
Yes, it is like a part two. You know, with the first book, I only had 8 weeks to write it, which was a really short amount of time. And, you know, I think when I finished it, I felt like, oh, you know, I still have more to say. I still have more ideas and perspectives, but it was perfect. It happened exactly as it should have, because the first book, I think, gives you everything that you need. But the second book, I think I literally do dive deeper into each step. There's more, it's much more healing focused. And within this book, there is tons of exercises that people can fill out as they go along. There are a few in the first book, but there's lots more in the second book. So as you're kind of going through the book, you're going on this healing journey, and each exercise is built to kind of help with self-awareness, self-reflection, helping you to look at new perspectives and ways of thinking. So yeah, I absolutely love the second book.
It's so interesting. I'm pre-ordering it.
Oh, yay. Oh, thank you.
And I have a last question for you. Who are your role models?
Ooh. Good question. You know, I really like, you know, that kind of got me probably on this journey is Tony Robbins, Brené Brown, Jay Shetty. You know, I think Tony Robbins and Brené Brown, I loved, especially, like I do a lot of motivational speaking, and they were absolutely my inspiration for that. I used to see them on stage and watch them and be like, I want to do that, you know, and now that I am, it's amazing. And Jay Shetty, you know, what I really loved was he was one of the first people that I recognized that was making self-development really accessible and simple to understand. And I think that's definitely what I'm trying to do as well, is to bring these really simple ideas to people in a way that they can digest, and to people who aren't necessarily into self-help. Actually, you know, there's so many people that kind of think that it's all mysticism or woo, or, you know, for a very certain demographic, but it's for everybody. And so making it kind of current and cool, and, you know, is something that I'm trying to do. So yeah, they're definitely role models for me.
Yeah, and I think it's really important to have role models.
Yeah,
so,
I agree.
But thank you, Roxie, for everything you shared today. Thank you for your time, and everyone who's watching and listening to this interview right now and are interested in manifesting, then go follow Roxie on Instagram, look at her website, listen to her podcast, because you have a podcast.
Yeah.
Read the book, and maybe pre-order the new one coming out next year. So thank you, Roxie, again for your time and everything you shared about yourself and about manifesting. So thank you.
Thank you so much. I really appreciate you having me. Thank you so much.